So come to page number 4 of your civics book. The Indian Constitution, very important. This Indian Constitution is because it is also known as Bharatiya Samvidhan, and this is the supreme law of India. Nothing is above this Constitution of India, not even the Prime Minister or the President. So above all in our country is this Constitution. It is above everything here in our country. It is the supreme law. So in this chapter we are going to begin with football, a game many of you have probably heard of or even played. Most of the boys, they are very good players of this football, of this game. They love it very much. As the name suggests, this is a game that involves the player's feet. According to the rules of football, if the ball touches the arm of any player except the goalkeeper, then this is considered a foul. So if players start holding the football in their hands and passing it around, then they are not playing football anymore, then it will become handball. Isn't it? It will become handball. Similarly, other games such as hockey or cricket also have rules according to which they are played. Each of these rules helps define the game, how the game should be played. In each and every game, there are certain rules which you have to follow, which we have to abide by. Then, each of these rules helps define the game and helps us distinguish one game from another. As these are fundamental to the game, we can also call them the constitutive rules of the game. What is the meaning of constitutive? It means in one word, constructive. Or you can also write having the power to enact or establish. You can write any of the meanings. Having the power to enact or establish, this is one meaning. Another one is constructive. Like these games, a society also has a constitutive rules that make it what it is and differentiate it from other kinds of societies. In large societies in which different communities of people live together, these rules are formulated through consensus. What is the meaning of the word consensus? A general agreement. Meaning of consensus is a general agreement that everybody must admit, yes, we will follow this rule, we will not follow this rule. So general agreement is required. And in modern countries, this consensus is usually available in a written form. It is not said, but it is written. Because every time you must know that a written thing is having more value than the spoken words. A written thing is having more value than the spoken words. Because when you are speaking, if somebody is not recording it, then it is having no value. The speaker can say, no, I have not said this one, I have said something else. Or the listener can also say that, no, it was not said like this. But when you are giving something in written form, at that time it is having the full authority to prove both by the speaker or the writer as well as by the listener or the people who have gone through that written format or gone through or read that written thing or read that document. So a written document in which we find such rules is called a constitution. This is the definition of constitution. You kindly underline it, that what is constitution? It is a written document in which we find rules. What you cannot write such rules. When the definition you are writing of constitution, if you write a written document in which we find such rules is called a constitution, it will become incomplete, because what do you mean by such? There you have to write a constitution is a written document where we will find the rules which help us to run our society properly, which help us to run our society properly, which help us to live in a society properly, which help us to stay peacefully and to enjoy our rights in a country. We have looked at the Indian Constitution in classes 6 and 7 in our social and political life textbooks. Have we ever wondered why we need a constitution, or been curious about how the constitution got written or who wrote it? If the constitution is not present in the country, then in our democratic country or in democratic rule, who is going to show us the rules? Who is going to make some sort of amendments in the rules? And democratic government, we know that it is a type of government where people rule. It can be directly through personal participation or indirectly through elected representatives. So I repeat, the democratic type of government is a government where people rule directly through personal participation or indirectly through elected representatives. As in our country we are doing, as Prime Minister, Chief Minister, they are all our elected representatives. We have looked, this part we have read. Now, in this chapter we will discuss both these issues and also look at the key features of the Indian Constitution. Each of these features is crucial to the working democracy in India, and some of these will be the focus of different chapters in this book. Crucial means very important. Why does a country need a constitution? Let's read. This picture is there. Beside the picture something is written, and as you know in your previous class also, that means when you were in class 7, that time also I have said that you will always try to read these portions or these writings which are there beside these pictures. So in 1934, the Indian National Congress made the demand for a Constituent Assembly. What do you mean by Constituent Assembly? Meaning of constituent, if you want, you can write down, is an assembly of popularly elected representatives assembled for the purpose of drafting or adopting a constitution or similar document. I repeat, Constituent Assembly, it is an assembly of popularly elected representatives assembled for the purpose of drafting or adopting a constitution or similar document. Now, the drafting meaning, if you don't know, that also you can write. Drafting means preparing a preliminary version of a document. Drafting means preparing a preliminary version of a document. So in 1934, the Indian National Congress made the demand for a Constituent Assembly. During the Second World War, this assertion for an independent Constituent Assembly formed only of Indians gained momentum, and this was convened in December 1946. The photo on page number 2 shows some members of the Constituent Assembly. Between December 1946 and November 1949, the Constituent Assembly drafted a constitution for independent India. Free to shape their destiny at last after 150 years of British rule, the members of the Constituent Assembly approached this task with the great idealism that the freedom struggle had helped produce. You will read more about the work of the Constituent Assembly later in the chapter. So we know that this freedom that we have got or we have gained, how hard earned it is, hard earned it is. So many people, they died for this freedom. So many people, they have sacrificed so many things, even if their lives also, for the sake of this freedom. from the British government. They are also known as what? Martyrs. Today, most countries in the world have a constitution. While all democratic countries are likely to have a constitution, it is not necessary that all countries that have a constitution are democratic. This is very important. You kindly let us read it once more. That while all democratic countries are likely to have a constitution, it is not necessary that all countries that have a constitution are democratic. So democratic countries, they must have a constitution. But all the countries which are having a constitution, they must be democratic. It is not same, or it is not true actually. The constitution serves several purposes. What are the several purposes of the constitution? Let's read and underline. First one, underline. It lays out certain ideals that form the basis of the kind of country that we as citizens aspire to live in. So first one is, it lays out certain ideals. Ideals means standard or principle to be aimed at. A standard or principle to be aimed at, that form the basis of the kind of country that we as citizens aspire to live in. Meaning of aspire is, you can write, direct one's hope or ambitions towards achieving something. Direct one's hopes or ambitions towards achieving something. This is the meaning of aspire. So in what type of country we want to live in? What should be the ideals? What should be the laws, rules, everything? So it lays out those certain ideals. Or put another way, a constitution tells us what the fundamental nature of our society is, how our society must be. A country is usually made up of different communities of people who share certain beliefs but may not necessarily agree on on all issues. It's true. So many different types of people, they are living in the country, following different cultural activities, following different religion, following different or coming from different cultural backgrounds, coming from different regions. So much of diversities are there in the country, and in spite of that, in spite of all these diversities, we have to stay together in the same country. We have to just remain, not only stay, we have to stay in a very peaceful manner in the same country. So what we have to do, we have to abide by some rules and laws, and definitely those rules and laws must also be framed in such a way that we feel comfortable in living in the country. It must not become some sort of pressure or torture on us. So a country is usually made up of different communities of people who share different beliefs but may not necessarily agree on all issues. A constitution helps serve as a set of rules and principles that all persons in a country can agree upon as the basis of the way in which they want the country to be governed. So constitution, it helps us to make a set of rules, or to follow certain rules or principles which is just written in such manner or framed in such manner that we all can agree, we can all admit, yes, it's quite beneficial for us. It is not becoming some sort of torture on us. It is not becoming some sort of matter of pressurizing us. Everything here we can admit or agree upon. So this includes not only the type of government but also an agreement on certain ideals that they all believe the country should uphold. So this is the matter that we are framing the rules and laws, but those rules and laws, they are becoming some sort of pressure or torture on us. It must not be like that, because if it becomes like that, then people living in the country, they will never have a peaceful life. They will never be able to live in that country in a comfortable manner. So whatever rules and regulations, whatever norms, whatever laws are there, everything must be framed in such a manner that the people who are coming from different communities, following different religion, following or practicing different religious rituals, or speaking different languages, or coming from different regions, or following different cultural backgrounds, find that yes, we can also live here with the others peacefully. Okay, so children, up to this only today, give a tick mark here, uphold, up to uphold. Now if you are having any doubt, query, any problem, you can ask me right now. Okay.